Well, I want to shed some light on some new laws that have actually just been passed in the last few days, actually, the very beginning of 2016. In New York City and Washington State, they got new laws that protect the rights of those who identify themselves as transgender. So, New York, start spreading the news, like from Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. I'm leaving today. But, this is, well, let me put it this way. I'm not actually somebody who really gives a damn one way or the other, but be quite honest, because, I don't like the people that are over religious and all, yeah, you be damned, and, I don't really care. But it's like this. The laws, though, are so lopsided now, these new laws, they're going to define a person up to $250,000 if you stop a transgender person from using like a female facility, if they identify themselves as female or whatever. Now, I know in a lot of cases the transgenders are looking more female than females do, and like to me, that to me doesn't really. I don't know. Like I guess there's a lot of gray areas in the whole deal, right? For instance, today, people are being exposed to more of these like type of plastics that are causing, more female hormones, and maybe people that are being born in the last 20 years are, even if they're born male, they're part female a little bit because of, things that were exposed to, what the baby was exposed to in the womb. So, some of this, I really don't care that much in a lot of situations, but the situation that I think is screwed up, though. But, whenever I look at this type of stuff, you can always make in your favor. And me, I'm not looking to direct any kind of anger or anything towards transgenders or anything like that. What I'm looking to is to use this type of law that are actually pushed by the big money yo-yos, and make them adhere to it. That's really the best thing, because if it's for one person, it should be for all. Now, the thing is that's draconian about this law is that if you prevent a person that, say, is transgender from or using, a bathroom that's female, or addressing a transgender person as, Sam instead of Sally or whatever, you could be fined up to $250,000. To me, that punishment is totally out of line with what the offense would be, for crying out, if there was an offense, because in certain cases, I mean, like well, it depends on who the transgender is, but let's like freaking put the screws to the people on the top with these things, and like, since they're trying to put these laws on everybody else, like say for instance, gold man sax. Now, isn't the fact that you call it gold man sax, isn't that sexist? Isn't that gender bias? Because you have man at the end of the word? What about gold woman sax, or gold tranny sax or something, whatever. I mean, something like that. Isn't that something like, or how about just gold sax and leave the man off, right? I mean, if you really want to get stupid with this stuff, I mean, that's really what they're doing. I mean, come on. I mean, now they're even saying brown paper bag is racist because it says brown paper bag. Well, it's the color of the bag, you dummy. But that's how a lot of this crap is going on. To me, this is just it's a communist plot. It's a bureaucracy, and that's why I just put that video out last night about the suits. It applies to all the bureaucrats and all this crap. I'm just doing my job, and I get paid, and you know what I mean. So what I think is that all these laws need to be applied effectively and equally to everybody across the board. You make a law, hey, it's good for everybody. No exceptions. Too bad. And, when you're looking at, say, places like Goldman Sachs, isn't it very much male, hetero dominated? Hey, come on. What about a little bit of, transsexual CEOs on the top? Why not? Why not? Come on. And don't tell me it's because it's all performance-based. Well, maybe that's because you're not giving the opportunity to the transsexuals, right? Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Citibank, Credit Suisse, or whatever the hell it is, right? Come on, you're biased. Where's the money? Where's the money? It's like, you gotta figure this. who the hell actually passed this law so much? Was it actually even the transsexual lobby so much? Or some, if there is I guess there is a transsexual lobby, but there's no, the money, the elitist money is pushing things for other reasons. And actually, I'm going to tell you right now, my game is this. I'm not going to, even though I'm not somebody who's out there like, oh, I'm going to push for, the transsexual rights, the bisexual rights, the homosexual rights, the lesbian rights. I'm not out there like pushing for all that stuff. But at the same time, I really don't care whatever it is. And, I'm not like pushing a religion either. And I'm not against a religion either. But the way I look at it is, the ones that are pushing this are only trying to push it on the masses, these laws, and the people on the top are like exempt. You know what I mean? So they got another game going on. Actually, if we really want to look about it, one at Goldman Sachs, I think dogs and cats should be a part of the freaking show too. I mean, even if they can't perform a function like in the business world, they could be a mascot and get a pay for maybe $250,000 a year instead of like $25 million, right? Why not? Why not spread the wealth around, right? Spread it around to the animal kingdom too. I'm all for animal rights. So, but the situation though with the transgender issue with the $250,000 fine, it could be, it's like this. You could say, like, in other words, you're thinking, well, say for instance, there's a person that's transgender that looks extremely feminine, or whatever, like they could be, or extremely masculine, whatever, whichever way they switched, and you can't tell the difference. Anyway, to me, nobody's going to question that person anyway because they're never going to know a million years, right? Unless they were told. But I look at it like this, and you can tell I'm almost looking at it from a very liberal standpoint. But my point is, I'm looking at it from like also the draconian bullshit that the freaking elite are pushing on us. And I don't want to get into squabbles with the transgender and the bisexual. Well, this is all about transgender, or the bisexual, homosexual, lesbian, whatever the hell it is. I'm not going to get squabbles with all that. I mean, do whatever you want. It's an individual choice. That's the way I look at it. In the nation of the United States, it's not about like pushing different things like deviations or whatever. It's like actually just individual rights. I mean, there could be something else. Maybe somebody likes trees or something. I don't know. What's besides the opposite gender or whatever. I don't know. It could be anything. But what I'm saying is that when you have when they're talking about the transgenders, the thing is, like, for instance, like, say the person looked like extremely masculine and they're going into or they're extremely feminine or whatever. Well, actually, if they're extremely feminine going into a male bathroom, the guys would be like, okay, come in, lady, But, I mean, the other way around, the woman wouldn't like that. If there was a, extremely masculine male extremely masculine transgender coming into their bathroom. And the thing is, though, that person does not have to show or prove anything that they've been diagnosed with, these transgender, gender identity disorder, whatever the hell you call that crap. I mean, they got all kinds of names for stuff now, so they don't have to identify that, and you can't even ask them that. You're just going to get fined $250,000. I was like, get the hell out of here, man. I mean, how the hell are you going to even know who the hell's legit, even if you were to have this law? So, but this law needs to be applied to the too bigs to fail. That's why I think this law is really a damn good law for New York City. Because look where New York City has. New York City has all the too bigs to fail. This law needs to be passed, needs to be applied 100% to the too bigs to fail. And when they don't comply with it, or they say something wrong, 250,000, 250, 250, 250, and that'll be cool. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's the way I look at it. So. But, the thing is, you got to have the power to actually slam them with that garbage, with the law. But, a lot of this stuff is actually occurring in our nation for, like, a specific reason. Because nobody's really concerned too much with survival. Well, some people are, some people aren't. But what happens is when you have a nation that has plenty of money, like most people, on average, the United States is pretty well off, right? Nobody's really concerned with survival. Like, in other words, a nation that was extremely poor, if they pass this law with the transgender, like if you you couldn't say anything or prevent them from using another bathroom or something like that, it just couldn't fly because everybody's too busy just trying to survive. There's not even like if you're just trying to survive, you're not even going to be worried about, I'm going to try to change my sexuality or something. You know what I mean? Maybe say you thought that, but if you're just trying to survive, you're not going to. These type of things aren't going to be coming up. So, the other thing is though, like if you have this type of law, it's actually going to kill small business because, say for instance you got an office out there and you got a male bathroom and a female bathroom, so now you got to put in a transgender bathroom, but you actually have to put 2 more bathrooms in maybe because, or if the females find it offensive, well maybe you'd only have to put 1 more bathroom in. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I'm not sure. Maybe you would have to put 2 more bathrooms in because if you'd have transgender going from male to female, you'd have to have a bathroom for that, and you'd have to have a bathroom for transgender going from female to male. Then you'd have to have a bathroom for male and a bathroom for female. But all that costs money. So, say for instance you say, okay, I don't care about, I'm okay with it. I'm like, you could, yeah, that's good. That's a great concept. But it's like when you have to actually pay for all the plumbing and the tile and all the fixtures for all these bathrooms and make more square footage available and maybe take it out of your office space or your workshop space to have those bathrooms, then it's like it's more than a theory or more than an abstract. It actually just comes down to dollars and cents. And if all these small businesses have to comply with this law, it's an astronomically difficult burden to put up with in an economy that's not too cool, So anyway, I think New York City ought to maybe have a transgender mayor. Why not? I think that'll be fine. I don't live there. I mean, I don't. Actually, I wouldn't even give a shit. To tell you the truth, I could actually probably think of I don't know any transgenders, right? But to me, I could think of transgender, almost any transgender, any place could probably be more fair and square than, with the current mayor of New York or somebody like the one that was prior mayor, like Mayor Bloomberg. I would think what the hell? Why not? The problem is these people that are on the top, they're facetious, they're hypocrites, they're liars. That's really what it comes down to. They're pushing all this stuff on everybody else, but it's not on them. And actually, they have another game going on here. And actually, I don't want to and I don't want to offend anybody that's transgender or homosexual. This isn't even about homosexual or lesbian or bisexual. But I don't even want to offend anybody that's transgender by saying this. But actually, what they're trying to do is break down a family. And I know there's people that are transgender that go from male to female and they want to have children and all that. I know that. I'm not trying to say that against them, but the actual nefarious elite plans are to really try to break down a family unit. That's what they're really trying to do. And, when I look at this type of stuff, I look at it like, in a lot of ways, when they actually make a law like this, they're actually giving you a club or a sword that you can use right against them too. And why not? So it is crazy though, man. I'm like, holy smokes, because you can't ask for instance, if you had a really tall person, well, I don't know, maybe that person looks like a female or whatever, but there's Caitlyn Jenner doesn't look. Oh man, that was very surprising because that really was like, if there's a person being born when they're like 8 years old, they feel like they're female. But if you've been a male all your life, I don't know why you'd want to be a female all of a sudden. Something's not. I don't understand that. Sometimes there's people that are born a certain way, and then they're transgender because they were always like, right on the border between male and female. So I know there's exceptions to the rule, and I don't really give a damn about that. But the thing is, if people are, so hell-bent on pushing this, they need to have this across the board, especially with the elite. and they can go by that. They can go by the damn rules that they put up. But the thing is, you cannot. What they're actually, some of these rules are so crazy is that, say for instance, you have a person that this person that's in the parade. I would think that's a female, but it's probably a transgender. It's one of those Wikipedia images or some crap. I would think that person's a female. I would never know that's a transgender in a million years. Not in a million years. I wouldn't know. Maybe I would know other way. But the thing is that if the person obviously looks like a guy and they're going into female, or maybe they don't even dress like a woman, and they just say, I'm a transgender, and they just state they're transgender, and they're wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and a flannel shirt or something, and they decide to go in the bathroom that's the females, you cannot even question if they have, a doctor's thing that they have gender identities disorder. It could just be a totally heterosexual male going in to harass females. And if you question that, you can get fined $250,000. That's how stupid this law is. And that's actually weird, So anyway, Lloyd Blankfein, you're going to be replaced with a transgender. I think that would be fair and equitable. We ought to just get rid of the man on the end of Goldman and call it Gold Sachs, whatever the hell it is, because that is gender bias and, whatever. Like I said, all these rules, like, people need to actually use them across the board, not just for the elite and stuff like that. And I really don't give a shit, to tell you the truth about it. I'm not going to get upset about it. But I do realize that, if, say, for instance, I had a shop or an office or something like that, and I had to, make 2 more bathrooms because of, new laws that came out, I'm thinking, that's pretty expensive to put in all that plumbing and, find a room and, put all the sinks and the whatever. I don't know. It's a lot of stuff, man. And, then in the workplace, it's like everybody beyond, like, wondering about this and that and whatever. I don't know. So, plus it gets down to other things. To me, actually, things kind of need to go back to old school. But people do need to actually, probably the way it was even 150 years ago. Probably best to go back to that. Males have their male roles and females have their roles. And nothing really wrong with that. But then again, I'm kind of like a person that, if a woman wants to be out there, installing shingles on a roof, fine, go right ahead, lady. If you want to do that for a living, fine. You don't want to go into the female roles, fine. I don't care. Do it, Actually, everything should be just... The way I look at it is money pretty much will straighten out the way things are in the right way, because whatever works best in an economic situation usually is the fairest thing. And, one of the things I could see that's wrong with this law is it does not work out economically, because small businesses that have to comply with this are going to get affected so badly that it's going to hurt the economy. And if women feel unsafe or with transgenders going in their bathroom facilities, it's not going to help the economy. On a small scale, which will affect a big scale. So a lot of times, even when you look at these moral issues, a lot of times the way to look at them is strictly through the financial way. But I could say that there's another game going on here financially, is that the elite are looking to destroy the middle class and family values and all that type of stuff. And I'm not really somebody that's like real Christian moral values and you got to be this way and that way, but they got a game where they're trying to destroy the family unit so they can come in and set all the rules like a bunch of damn dictators. That's one of the problems. But it's almost too crazy to believe, but yeah, they're going to try to, if you say, if you call Sally Sam and she's supposed to be Sally, you get fined $250,000, or somebody with a beard that says I'm transgender can go walk in a female thing and you can't question them. female bathroom or something. I'm like, I'm not talking about. And actually, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be so bad if it wouldn't really be. Well, if a transgender looked extremely female, nobody would question it anyway. But like I said, all this kind of stuff is coming about because the United States has so much excessive fluff that there's a lot of people out there really not worried about survival. It's like, it's almost like somebody talking about the petals on a rose or, some garbage. They're not actually worried about food, clothing, shelter, things like that. And, people that are actually struggling, that are trying to actually just keep ahead of the wave of all the garbage and regulations and everything, well, they don't even have time for this kind of garbage. But then they have to have time for it now because now it's the law. And what I'm saying is, I guess the best thing to do with this law is make sure it's in full effect on the too bigs to fail. Because the too bigs to fail, like Bloomberg or something, they need to comply with this completely. As a matter of fact, Bloomberg